Welcome to Contemplative Writing with Kristina Amelong with 52 Codes for Conscious Self-Evolution, Barbara Marx Hubbard's book, A Process of Metamorphosis to Realize Our Full Potential Self. And the little bit of sort of teaching I want to bring in today, well, let's bow to begin. Let's do things in order here. Okay, let's bow to bring ourselves into the circle. All right, and so I don't forget, let's light our candles if you have them. And as we presence ourselves here, and as we light our candles, and as we open to our ever further into our conscious self-evolution, we are holding just these amazing times we live in, right? This extraordinary effort at truth-telling that's going on through the Kavanaugh hearings and the constant speaking of the earth and all that is happening in Indonesia and everywhere, even here in Madison with the flooding. So there's no one left out, and that is the deepest presencing that I believe that any human being can walk through this earth with, that everyone gets to be included in emerging these conscious conversations and speaking their truth and in healing and in finding their unique dignity on their journey. So with that said, we're going to tone to start with. So let us unmute ourselves and see kind of outrageous sounds and resonances and vibrations want to weave their way in this space and through us and out of us. And here we go. We'll go for about a minute, and I'll do this when we're going to be done, and feel free to explore your voice and your presencing. Okay. Whoa, that was really fun. Thank you. I feel our courage building, and our that phrase that Allie gave me last week. I just want to spread it to everyone, right? The warriors of vulnerability. Oh, that's such a good one. Okay. All right.
You'll appreciate this. My dog walked in and was like, "What are y'all?"
Okay. It's totally a dog space, those sounds. Okay. So Allie's going to hit the bowl as we ground our feet and find our breath and presence ourselves in 5 minutes of witness and silence and presence with each other. And go ahead and mute yourself, guys, everybody. I'm going to mute myself. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, everyone, for participating in all of this. And Sarah, welcome. Hi. All right. So, few words on writing. Write whatever you want. Write whatever comes up. Know that the process of writing is invariably some combination of letting consciousness come through in its pure form and equal or more wrestling with what's coming through. And it is that continually softening and integrating those voices of the inner critic or the reptilian brain, the fight or flight part of us, that is really the journey, right? Is this full integration of all that we are. So all voices are welcome here. There's no blaming or shaming for any part of us. So on that, I will read the prompt. Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, so we are on code 44. And as y'all know, it's right there along with the liatris. Is that what that flower is? And that bumblebee? Code 44. Substantiate your consolidated power by blending father energy and mother receptivity.
Do it in I statement.
You like that better?
Yeah.
Substantiate my consolidated power by blending father energy and mother receptivity. Visualize the great creating process, the implicated order, the core of the spiral, animating the third chakra, my power center, infusing it with guided creativity. This is the key to regeneration. Feel the power of the father energy blending with the receptivity of the mother in the seat of power, which is the will. This is the site of consolidation. Power joined with heart, guided by the impulse of creation, drives my whole organism. I feel this power substantiating within myself. All right. Have a beautiful writing journey. We'll write for 20 minutes. Allie will hit the bowl and then give us a 5-minute break, and then we will come together to share.
Feel free to take your 5-minute break and finish up your writing. Take a stretch, whatever you'd like.
Thank you, Allie. All right, welcome back, everyone. So who has not had a turn to read in the big group that feels a call to share their writing right now? Carolyn, did you not read the first time in the big group?
I can't remember. I had raised my hand last time, but you were moved to read.
Allie, do you remember, because you did the recordings? I'm pretty sure you read the first time, Carolyn. Yeah. So, Christine, you can go ahead.
I feel this power substantiating within myself. Quotes. When do I feel this? It is sporadic. It comes in the guise of hope, I suppose. Heartfelt, too good to be true kind of hope. Hopes and dreams that say, oh, there can be nothing that is too good to be true, as there is no good or bad when I am present without judgment. And true, what is true is love. It is all that's left after the hottest, brightest, darkest fires of my life. Love that I feel for all who I have known. And now a growing love for myself, as is. It seems the more I accept my flaws that seem to rise up to greet me every day, miracles happen. Acceptance is a cleansing. And I look again, and that flaw is not real. It's not there. It has no power over me. This code speaks of the center of our power being held in the third chakra. It is no wonder that all the many times I have felt my deepest pain and agonizing grief, I could sense it in my solar plexus, a sensation that ranged from a gaping black hole to whose void was bottomless, to a pressure that could not be contained any longer, and a reason to leave this earth. All the while wondering, why do I feel this here and not my heart center? And now I think perhaps, although I told myself many stories to understand the pain, the true story was that I was cut off and disconnected from my own power as a sovereign being, a creator, a co-creator with source and never alone. What could be more painful than to perceive oneself as being alone? As the seed of self-love grows, so does my love for and faith in source, and source as me. There is a place I go almost every day that's called Brenton Point. It's a windy, magical spot where my voice echoes and reverberates because of the stone structure there called the Portuguese Sailors Monument. I pretend I am a goddess. I speak as the goddess. I call out over the ocean directly in front of me my vision for all beings everywhere. May they feel safe, know they are truly loved and truly love. May they love themselves and one another. May they know deep peace. May all beings everywhere be free. And then I repeat it in the I am. and I am empowered. I am free.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
All right. So go ahead and unmute yourself, and try to be ready when the prior person is done, so that we can move along. And who would like to give comment first? Christine, you ready?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Christine. I'm unmuted, I think, yes. It was very powerful, and um, I feel a great deal of sadness with you, but from the past. And it seems to me that it is being transformed into acceptance and love. And I know Newport quite well, and I can just see you there. I can see you exactly at the Portuguese sailor's place, howling to the wind, and how good it would feel right now. I love you, Christine, and thank you so much for sharing.
I love you too, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Next.
Christine.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Wow. Things that stood out to me were, after all the experience, love is all that's left, and acceptance as a cleansing. What a powerful reframe. I love that. And then the feeling that you expressed of the void and the pressure and being cut off from your power as a creator, and then taking yourself to the edge by the stone of the ocean and being the goddess calling for love for yourself and for us all is just a beautiful gift. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, Christine, I just see you blossoming every week. You just go more and more into your power. I have words written down, but I just wanted to say that I see you in your power, in love, and you are a goddess. So thank you for sharing.
Gillian.
I felt you describe in your words, as well as your voice and your energy, describing either or, and then in the end being the both. So in the words that you were describing, in the pain and the aloneness, I heard that feeling in the words and how you talked. Then you talked about hope and the other side of that, but still the separation of the two. But at the end, talking about being around those rocks and shouting out and reverberating back to you. You had a strength in your presence and the words and the energy that you used. It was like seeing the code go from either or to both.
Oh, how nice.
So it was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty.
I felt also like I was going on a journey with you. I loved how you started out with this growing love for yourself and accepting your flaws. And then when you talked about the flaws have no power over you, and then the goddess power within you came forth in your calling out. It was just a beautiful journey with you and feeling the power that is within you. Yeah, very grateful. Thank you.
Melissa.
Hi, Christine. I love the words that popped out for me. Acceptance is a cleansing, that flaw is not real, It has no power over me. And then you came back at the end and you were the goddess to prove that that was true. And it was a beautiful image of you being the goddess and speaking as the goddess, that you have no power over me. Another phrase that spoke to me was gaping black hole whose void was bottomless to a pressure that could be contained no longer, and disconnected from my own being. What could be more painful than seeing oneself as alone? So those were very strong, but I do think in the end you came back and you took the power back. You could feel that cycle. So it was a great visual at the end, and I felt your power. So thank you.
Carolyn?
I felt it as rejuvenating, a space for rebirth, the empathy. It was like you were holding the space for emergence. It was you standing in recognition of a journey so that others could recognize it. Some things that got my attention were presence without judgment and the hottest, darkest fires of my life. Yet you felt the love for all, and you now included yourself. To me, it was a demonstration of know thyself and know the world. Heal thyself and heal the world. Love thyself and love the world. And both of those coming back and forth, that you were dancing with the I am in all of its infinite expression so that it could know its fullness.
Thank you, Carolyn. Go ahead, Diane.
Well, so much that I wrote has been said, but I liked that miracles happen as I accept my unreal flaws. I just love the idea of the miracles happening, and the whole thing was a miracle happening. As you ended with the I am empowered, I am free. So acceptance is so powerful. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane. Anyone else? Allie?
Yeah, I really liked what Carolyn said about a dance with the I am. I definitely felt that too. It was like a tale of becoming. You know, you have these two voices that are kind of like, this is too good to be true, and then you're like, well, no, good or bad is like, it's when I'm present, like there's no judgment, there's no good or bad. And so then you like come into this thing and it turns into this expression, this like shouting over a cliff. You are the goddess. And that's a really beautiful evolution. And I think that the way you wrote it was very expressive. I am empowered. I am free. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Allie.
All right. Am I the last person, or is there one other? Sarah, did you want to say anything? Okay. Did I miss anyone else? All right. So when do I feel this? There's no good or bad. What is true is love after the hottest, darkest fires of my life. A reason to leave this earth. I've told myself many stories. I was cut off from my sovereign power. And then just this line, and it's so powerful. And you just taught me something about life. What could be more painful than to see oneself as alone? Right? It's so simple. And yeah, the power of then you going to that spot every day and healing yourself, all of us, the earth, that aloneness, that false aloneness. It's just gorgeous, Christine. Thank you. Would you like to say anything to complete?
Just that I really believe now that I've shared that with all of you, that you will be there with me now as I speak that, for that to happen, that you're all there with me.
Yes.
Yes, which will bring it to manifestation a lot faster.
Yes.
Nothing more powerful than a bunch of crazy goddesses.
Yes. Okay. Hallelujah. All right. Yes. All right. Are you complete? All right. So Allie's going to split us up into our breakout groups and see y'all soon.
Safe travels to your breakout rooms.
All right. Christine, hi. Okay. Who would like to read first?
I can actually.
Go ahead. I'm just going to shut this door quick.
I'm sorry if my voice gives out, I'll stop. Very embarrassing.
Take your time.
The core of the spiral animating my third chakra, my power center. I have never thought of my third chakra, my solar plexus, as my power center. Do you suppose that is why I am not feeling regeneration or regenerated? I've always thought of my solar plexus as the place where I concentrate my integrity, where I go to regain my endurance, not as my center of creativity. Wouldn't that be grand if I could just shift my thinking from my fourth chakra, my heart, as being the center of my creativity, down one rung, and find the center of my power and creativity there? I am attempting to do that right now as I sit here in contemplative with my dear newly found friends. And you know, I can imagine that shift in my body, feeling a release in my mind and heart, a release with the shift downward. There is, in fact, strength to be found there, a feeling of being more centered. There I concentrate to feel the power of the Father energy, blending with the receptivity of Mother in the seat of power. These are, of course, Barbara's words in Code 44, and I can sincerely resonate with them in this moment. In her book, Emergence, she talks about being a parent to her parents. Once she had realized her emergence, this, of course, in her mind, and taken dominion as a universal human. In that way, she imbues them, father and mother, with the strength she wishes they had had. But as her parents, and mine, and I am guessing most of yours, dear friends, hadn't the opportunity to emerge as universal humans, we forgive them with love and learn to give ourselves these attributes that they were unable to share. In no way blaming them, but loving them with greater love. More love, in fact, than I thought myself capable of. I am so filled with gratitude for them and for this opportunity to be here with you, dear ladies. I actually think that the shift of creativity to my solar plexus today, I actually feel it. To my third chakra is going to open a soft channel in which I will really be able to emerge from essence and uomo d'amore universalis into uomo d'amore universalis. I'm sorry.
That was beautiful. No apologies needed, but we're always apologizing for.
I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So surprising sometimes.
Yay! Okay. All right. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
Thank you.
I just have, I think, short feedback. Again, to me, I'm feeling what's being said in how, well, let me just say, when you were beginning in your talk, you had no voice off and on throughout your reading. And when you began to come from your imagination of dropping your heart, your creativity into your powers energy, into your solar plexus, your voice cleared up.
Interesting.
You had a very strong voice. There was no cracking. So it's just interesting to see when it was one curiosity and how can this be, and I never knew that before. It was all cracking, but as soon as you really owned it, the voice got stronger.
To be studied. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty. Melissa?
I wanted to tell you that what you said about our parents, talking about how our parents haven't emerged perhaps, and we don't know exactly what we're learning yet, and we forgive them with love and not blame them but understand where they are. And that whole section really spoke to me in my life and where I am right now. And I do, like, becoming a parent to our parents is very interesting. And there is that sense of power that comes from that knowing that power, that, okay, here I am, and now I can give back what they've given to me in the past too. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. So nice to see you, Melissa.
I loved being referred to as a dear newly found friend. Thank you. That was great. Solar plexus, power, creativity, regeneration, sincerely resonate, can envision, forgive, give love to myself, gratitude, feel the shift of creativity to solar plexus. It will open a soft channel to emerge as essential self and homo universalis. Sound like an unfolding pronouncement.
Thank you, Alana.
Thank you, Alana.
Diane, do you want to add anything? You got to unmute yourself, hon.
I also could relate to the story of forgiving parents for not knowing. Because it's a daily struggle for me with my mom. And shifting my creativity from my heart to my solar plexus. And that's an opposite way for me to shift. I usually think of my creativity as more my womb space and shifting it up and then moving it to the heart. So that was a little different from my experience. And just the awareness of that solar plexus as the power space. It was just seemed like a new awareness for you as you were experimenting with it, and it was happening as you experimented.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
So some lines for me. Third chakra, not as my center of creativity, Wouldn't that be grand that I could shift and find creativity there? Emergence, being a parent to her parents and taking dominion with the strengths she wishes her parents had. And it's interesting because now both readings, I feel growing in my own body and my own perceptions, right? That we're not at all victims, and knowing that in our deepest self that the wounds, we're all wounded, and the more we step into exactly what you just wrote about and shared, the more we live this substantiation of our powers by blending these energies. So your piece just really heightened this teaching. And I appreciate you, Christine. And I too loved being called your new friends. Would you like to share anything before we complete?
Only that I thought it was so interesting that both Christine and I hit on the third chakra and the what was it she said? I don't remember, but we all obviously channeled into the same space. And with all your help, I'm able to see better what's really happening here. Thank you all.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being so brave. All right. Who is called to read next? Patty.
I will.
Yay.
Code 44. Oh my, so many places to go with this code. It's talking about going from either or to both. Not just the father energy and not just the mother energy, but both. This is so prevalent in our society and showing up in many different ways. Women are speaking up to fill the gap of invisibility for a we voice. A thriving world isn't male dominant or female dominant, it's unified. Another place this is showing up in our society is through the visibility of transsexuals. They are going from one gender to the other and then experiencing from both. This code is also showing up within me in a couple of different ways. One is the specific words that are being used, not masculine or feminine energy, but father energy and mother receptivity. I can tell I have a trigger relating to that deep interconnection with the words father and mother. How can I go to that place when I feel blocked by those words? Do I work through words or find different words? This is related to others I've known who have had the same dilemma with the word God. How does one create new images about words that poke at cellular memories? And then there's my own struggle to blend my masculine and feminine energy. As I was born female but was expected to be a boy, and so my masculine showed up and expressed as a tomboy. I'm not either or, but I'm also not both. So this code brings up much for me.
Hey, Patty, do you want to try to read those last couple sentences over? Because your internet connection went out and we couldn't hear after, as I was born female, but expected to be a boy. I'm not either or.
Okay, I was born female, but was expected to be a boy, and so my masculine showed up and expressed as a tomboy. I'm not either or, but I'm also not both. So this code brings up much for me to ponder in the hot tub. The end.
Where's that hot tub? Okay. Thank you very much. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
All right. Alana?
I could really relate to when you were talking about father and mother being trigger words and trying to discern whether to work through it or to just change the words so you could flow in a different way. I can really relate to how difficult that edge can be sometimes, knowing whether you're exposing a hidey hole that you would like to sweep out, or whether you're, listening to your inner guidance to just flow through it and move on. It's difficult to tell. And this idea of living in between either and both, that place of healing of integrating your separation, your either or, but not feeling all the way like both yet is what an evolutionary driver. It's a little uncomfortable and confusing sometimes. I love the way you said that, and I liked the development of a we voice. That was a very nice way to talk about integration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alana. Melissa?
First of all, thank you. You gave me a whole different perspective. Your perspective, I didn't go there at all, and I appreciated that new way to look at this code. The visibility of transsexuals experiencing from both genders. It really made me go, yes. And not either or. I'm also not both. Again, right. I feel the same way too, not exactly, but I feel that. Thank you. That vulnerability really was amazing. Thank you. Also, I really like the words that poke at cellular memories. That one got me. The word mother, father, God, just poking at us like, oh yeah, definitely. And then if there's anywhere that I want to go to ponder those triggers, it would be the hot tub. So in the beginning I put down, it was a little bit like, it reminded me of Dr. Seuss. I guess that's because I'm a teacher. Oh my, so many places to go. And then it ended in the hot tub. And like, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Diane, did you want to go next?
Well, I think you have covered pretty much what's on my paper. I think especially the words trigger cellular memory. Do I work through the words or find new words? And I'm certainly doing that now, because there's a lot of words, even in these codes, that trigger cellular memory in me that I've got to, I just have to put my own language around it sometimes and make it mine or closer to my experience. So sometimes when we talk about father energy and mother energy, I prefer to say masculine and feminine energy. It just doesn't trigger as much for me. So thank you for sharing those dichotomies and holding them together and what they create together.
Welcome.
Whoa. Oh, you guys, we're all getting the presidential alert when we're together. Like, times are fucking changing and we don't know is this good or bad, but Whoa, this is a test from the president. Whoa. Let this be used for good. Yes, we witness it. Whoa, did you all just get that on your phones too, or whatever?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good to be together when that happened. All right, so, and whoa, Christine, do you want to add in some?
Yes. To what you said. And Patty, how can I go to the place when I feel blocked by words? You went very deep today, very, very deep, and I learned a little more about you. But then, as I learn about your happy character, you ended with the wonderful hot tub, and I just loved it. You're able to bring joy, at least to me, all the time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Yeah, the power of that, like I instantly felt my body going into the hot tub with you. And it was just so like potent to have that full body experience. Like, oh yeah, let's keep talking. So I love that. And
well, there's plenty of room.
Good. So you the invite is happening. And yeah, I think this conversation that you brought up so beautifully about the need for new words, the need to give us permission to figure out like how to communicate all these things is just so potent. And it was brilliant that you said, I can tell I have trigger energy over mother and father, and the same with the word God for other people. How does one create these words? So like right away, I want to ask permission. And do we need to ask permission to borrow your phrase, words that poke at cellular memories, right? How do we give each other freedom to grow and build off these new things that come through here, right? And what does ownership mean in this situation? So it's very profound what you opened up. And can I borrow that? Words that poke at cellular memories. Thank you. And I am complete. Would you like to add anything?
Well, hopefully the recording will work better than my internet. I missed some of what people said, but I appreciate the resonance, and I have to say the opportunity. Like there was a point in what I read, I started crying, and there was no emotion in my head when I was writing. So the value of doing this together continues to amaze me because it connects me with my heart in ways that just don't happen in my head. So thank you because again, all the codes are about connecting with our heart. And I can't, as Christine said in the last reading, it is about connecting and being together, not being alone, not doing this silently. So thank you.
You're so welcome, right? What could be more painful than to see oneself as alone with any of these things, and how we're really bringing that to life. We're substantiating that. All right, Patty, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Who would like to read next? Melissa?
I close my eyes and I'm there. He's waiting, the man with the blue hair. He takes my hand and we stroll across the beach. The sand cool under my feet. His body shimmers in the moonlight. Is it the moonlight or is it him? Who is he? I know this man. We've been here before. The waves glow blue. Moonlight? Algae? Magic? I can see as if it were daylight. So bright is the sky lit with stars and moonbeams. He pulls me to the edge of the water. The waves lap my toes like a puppy. I smile. He steps behind me, holding me as he has done for a millennium. Wrapping his arms around my waist, pulls me close. I feel his heartbeat against my back. It calms me. It sets the rhythm of my own heart. Are we two or are we one? For a moment, I'm unsure. You must go on yourself, he whispers. Before I respond, I'm shoved hard from behind. I lose my footing, falling into the cool, wet abyss. Tears well up. Why? I ask the night sky. Without his light, I can no longer see. I step blindly, not knowing which direction I'm going. I take a step and another. The soles of my feet sink into the water, yet I cannot feel the rocky ocean bottom. I continue to move forward. I think it's forward. I'm not sure. Where am I? I'm scared. I stop, trembling. At that moment, the clouds part and the moon once again shines in its glory. I look around. The shore is nowhere to be seen. I'm standing atop the inky blue. How is this possible? I panic. I don't dare move. How did I move all this way across the water? How can it be? What do I do? I'm stuck. It's too far to swim. I wouldn't know what direction to go anyway. I stand frozen, not daring to move, hanging my head in despair. How can I possibly go on? Tears slide off the end of my nose and drip into the water. That's when I see him. He's been with me the whole time. He's there, translucent beneath the waves. He's still glowing. His hands hold my feet. With every step across the water, he is there, holding me up. He smiles at me knowingly, a wink and a nod. He is not alone. There's another body beneath him, and another, and another, and another, each being carrying the weight of the others. It's a never-ending chain of support. I skip across the waves now, running. Their hands match my every step. You are never alone, dear one. We are always here. We always have been and always will be. I open my eyes. My heart sings. All is well.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Would you like feedback?
Yes, please.
That is so deeply touching and familiar to me that I almost don't know what to say about it. But this beautiful way that you describe the pain of feeling separation and then the reunion with knowing that you're never alone was really lovely. And it reminded me of that book by Hermann Hesse that I read so many years ago called Journey to the East. I don't know, but the poor little pilgrim thought that the journey had ended and suffered for years only to find out the journey never ended, that he just stepped out of it. Anyway, thank you for that. It's really comforting.
Thank you, Alana. I'll go. The man with the blue hair, he takes my hand. His body shimmers in the moonlight. Is it moonlight or him? The waves lap my toes like a puppy. Are we two or are we one? You must go on by yourself. Why? I ask the night sky. I think it is forward. I am not sure. At that moment, the clouds park. Tears slide off my nose and fall into the water. He is here. Just really gorgeous and mysterious and magical. And thank you. And I'm still wondering, is this a dream or what is this? You don't have to say unless you want to.
I was a little worried you guys would wonder where I was going with the whole master. If I was going to get a little escape today.
Okay.
He comes to me sometimes. This man, I don't know who it is.
Wow. Thank you.
cellular memory.
Christine.
Sounds like that man is strength. Is the strength that you obviously have. The images were wonderful. I saw you on a rocky beach on the coast of Maine. Maybe that's where you were. I don't know. But some of the lines sets the rhythm of my own heart. You must go on by yourself. Wow, it's just so, as Alana said, so familiar. I've been there too, but I'm not able to write it as beautifully as you did. The images were just wonderful. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Diane or Patty? Diane?
Well, I've discovered listening and writing. I'm so impressed, Kristina, that you can get it down word for word. I'm trying to do that and I can't. So it's like I get about every fifth word and I'm trying to listen and I can't do those two things at once. But it's the man with the blue hair is so intimate with you, yet he tells you you must go it alone, and you believe you're alone until the moon shines, and the moon shows that you're not. So it's interesting to me. The moonlight, the feminine of the moonlight is reflected energy, and it reveals that the blue man is always there, holding your strength. So I loved the story. It just really went deep into my heart and to my cellular membrane. Thank you.
A lot has already been said, and I'm still in the story, in the image, in the depth of what you were talking about, kind of like the blue hair, the depth of the water, blue water, on the beach, equality of that energy, and then saying you have to go it alone is like the beginning to trust yourself. I don't know. There's so much. It's hard for me to spit out because my mind, when I'm talking, goes somewhere else and thinking about your story. It just seemed like it went from kind of like giving your power outside to going to equality to confidence, but knowing you were supported under the water and beginning to run in your own self at the same time, knowing there would be a hand under your foot as you ran. I mean, to me, that's the whole description of faith and being one with that energy, not giving that energy more value than you, that you're one with that energy and having the faith that your foot is held every step you take. So it was just a really beautiful expression of that. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Patty.
Thank you, Patty. Melissa?
I'm complete. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. All right, Alana or Diane? Either of you want to read next?
I'll give it a go.
All right.
What is this? In my center, I flitter. It feels nervous, self-conscious. Still lurking in a hidey hole, someone separate. Shine in, fall in, dive in. Bring the light to the sweet little holdout. Don't leave anyone behind. The lure of the free flow draws at times into separation rather than union. Is it easier to fly than feel? Limping along instead of soaring? I don't think so. 2.0, envision the full forever union and plan how to get there. Take your hand and trust into your fullness. Breathe into the one heart and view yesterday's tomorrow. Remember? Drop into the ignored part and light its pathway home. Breathe in the integrated wholeness and take yourself to love. Practice loving all of you until it's smooth and natural, not just in your head. Fully in your daily heart. Dive in and let every part feel the joy of full love and freedom. Leave no part behind. Step and move into light. I'm not fluid in my writing today. Something teases the flow and calls for notice in a new and funny way. It's prickly, not comfortable, self-conscious. Come out, whoever you are, let's do this. Let's dance it, let's understand it, let's release it. I rock me in the harmonic resonance of She Who Remembers and open my heart to my fullness. It stalls me, calls me, needs me. I'm a little bit jangled, not controlled. Aha, a clue. Dive in, it only gets more beautiful. Contradictions. Fuel for the love furnace or stubborn holdout? Wait, breathe into it. The energy is smoothing out. Integrated essential self harmonizes the holdout. Chatter, clatter. Don't ignore it. Allow it to tell you what it will. Well, I stopped writing there and took a break and went to the little girl's room, and I had an epiphany while I was in there that I broke the flow of writing, but I tried to say it after. Not used to being negative, not used to sharing the shadow, Pollyanna lives. I see it, note it, am aware of it, but don't own it. And you can't integrate it until you own it. It's about being a vulnerability warrior, my nervousness, lack of experience sharing the jangle.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much, Alana. That's beautiful. Would you like to have some feedback?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I felt like you were giving us a preview, like we had front row seats to how we dive into those shadow parts or the hidey hole, shining the light in the hidey hole, that as you were writing, you were talking about yours and how you go about shining the light, and knowing that it needs to be connected to your heart. And it was just I felt like I was kind of watching a movie and hearing examples of how to actually take this journey rather than just talking about the journey, being on the journey as you discover. And then you go into the bathroom and had an epiphany. That's what the whole process is about, is getting to that nugget. And then once you get that nugget, it like opens up. So thanks for the journey.
Thank you, Patty. That's surprising feedback to me. It felt like bleh. Not like something usable to anyone else.
Thank you, Patty. Diane?
Well, you started off with breathe into the one heart, integrated wholeness. And I think of the heart as that word courage. And then you went dive in. It only gets more beautiful. And it seemed that you step and move into the light in the hiding hole. And you let the light shine on the shadow. And that takes of the heart, of courage, to breathe that in. And your writing doesn't flow, you said. It's prickly. It's not perfect. It's not controlled. It's nervous. It's jangled. And you're not used to being negative and sharing the shadow. It's vulnerable. It's the perfect example of vulnerability and the courage of the warrior, too.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. I'll go. I had never heard of a hidey hole, so now I'm curious what that is. And I just ditto Alana on what folks are reflecting to you here, that to trust what wants to come. What is this in my center? I flitter, still lurking in a hidey hole. Don't leave anyone behind. Is it easier to fly than to feel? I don't think so. Dive in and let every part feel. And then going like just struggling there and staying there and being true to that and showing that to us, and then taking a pause, coming back and be like, can't integrate unless you own, right? Like it's so logical and true, and there we got to be in it with you real time. So deep bow to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Alana.
Alana, I love the way your words flowed. I know that you felt a little stuck, but just listen to the sounds of some of these words, like still lurking in a hiding hole, someone separate, lure of the free flow. Is it easier to fly than to feel? Limping along instead of soaring. There's so much beautiful alliteration in all of that, the way the words flow. There's even more, stalls me, calls me, fuel for the love furnace, clatter, clatter. There's so much great language in what you wrote. And then in the end, I too appreciated being on that journey with you. Like I was sitting on your shoulder or just inside your mind with you. You said, not used to sharing the shadow. More alliteration there too, sharing the shadow. And I appreciate you sharing the shadow. I think if we all share the shadow, we'd be so much happier together and get along so much better. So thank you. I thought it was beautiful.
Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Melissa.
I just thought it was beautiful, and I so understand exactly where you found yourself, because you described it as if it were I have felt that way so often. I won't repeat the words that have been spoken, except a few. Dive in, it only gets more beautiful. Clatter, clatter, don't ignore it. You told a wonderful story, and it was so truthful, and I felt it very deeply, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Alana?
I'm complete and surprised. Thank you.
All right, keep going, sister. Thank you. Beautiful. All right, Diane.
Wow. The alliteration in your writing reflects so much of my writing for this week. It's the writing I've been doing sounds like Dr. Seuss. And I could see that it was almost like a Dr. Seuss experience you were sharing. Anyway, today, what better description of the blend of masculine and feminine energy than the image of warrior of vulnerability, powerless power? What does that mean? We substantiate our energy as we consolidate into small communities of intimacy. As we mingled heart-mind with middle mind, truth emerges. It's important to me that I let my heart-mind lead my middle mind as a universal human. My uniqueness is my life experience viewed from a universal perspective of love. I ask for old false perspectives to be aligned with truth. May the sword of truth be my weapon, slicing through false perspectives. As I relinquish my old beliefs, I die to my old self and leave those previous patterns of behavior and constructs of mind behind. I step out of my old shell or chrysalis and spread my wings to fly. My heart is aligned with the cosmic heart, holding the space of love between all that is yet unseen. As I stay connected to its rhythm and lead with my heart, my creativity and will follow to join with divine will. I'll never understand all that is, but I can answer my own small calling of the heart. I can manifest my divine purpose in some small way in the universe and allow the universe to meet me and do the rest. I love the mystery of it all manifesting in concrete materiality, working together in relationship for the good of all life.
Thank you so much, Diane. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
Who would like to go first? Melissa?
I was just rereading what I wrote, and I love the image of the sword of truth. The sword of truth, my weapon slicing through false pretenses. I love that image. Like as we're warriors of vulnerability, right? Goddesses with our swords of truth, bring it. I love that one. I like, as someone said earlier, how all of our writing sometimes meshes into one theme, and words aren't coming to me. We echo each other in some of the things, even though we're separate, we're together, and those things pop up through our writing. And I was thinking when you said, you're manifesting your divine purpose, you're learning to manifest, but you're also allowing the universe to meet you and do the rest. And I was just linking that to my piece a little bit, and I'm out there manifesting and walking, yet the universe is there. They're there holding me up. And so, again, I just love it when that happens, when this wholeness emerges from all of our separateness. And it's that's like the highlight for me every week. So thank you very much for sharing.
Me too.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, I'll go. I want to reiterate what Melissa said, because, right, your piece just so beautifully echoed the code, right? And the powerless power right from the beginning. What does that mean? We substantiate by joining in these small groups and bringing in that metaphor of the sword of truth, which I took as our voices and our pens and our creativity. And one of my very favorite lines was, "I love the mystery of it all." Thank you, Diane.
I was really struck right from the beginning by the use of the words powerless power. It just, wow, it stopped me, and it makes me want to go back to that and think about it and feel it. And I will do that. And the small communities of intimacy and the sword of truth slicing through false perspectives, really, really wonderful imagery. And I liked when you stepped out of the chrysalis to fly and held the space of love, answering your calling, answering the calling of your heart. And I kept hanging up on you, kept saying, do my small part. Small part, to me, your part feels huge. It feels as huge as the all one.
Thank you, Alana. Well said. Anybody else want to give feedback? Christine?
Everything I wrote down has been already spoken of, but I will repeat. Holding the space of love for all that is unseen. I love that. Manifest my own small purpose in the universal, and I lost the last word, but it was very deep and very precious. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Patty. Do you want to say anything?
Me? Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much everything's been said, and hopefully you get this because I don't have a very good connection today. Warrior of vulnerability, source of truth slicing through false perspectives, powerless power. To me, the replicating the code in the description of the masculine feminine energy, and in the end it's us and spirit working together as one. So blending the masculine feminine energy is us working with spirit to manifest our creative whatever purpose. So again, the similarity, thanks for the visual, of pretty much a different way of saying the same thing that everybody has had a piece of the pie to. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Diane, would you like to say anything to complete?
I just want to say I'm so grateful to have a place to share my heart where somebody gets it. There's no place. I read some of the writings I had to my husband. He goes, nobody's going to get this.
Okay.
I said, okay, no more to you. But he's a good tester. What audience are you writing to? So thank you. It's such a warm, welcoming womb.
Yes.
And such a beautiful heart.
Yeah. I'll be right back too.
Allie, we're going to need until 57.
Okay. I wasn't going to read because it's kind of half finished. I'm writing for memoir, but using the prompt. But here I go. And maybe we'll have time for feedback, maybe not. It just didn't feel right. I'm in his bed. I'm 24 years old. He is 55. Loose papers, psychological journals, open notebooks, laying in piles on the floor on his desk. He is behind his desk on the telephone with People magazine, talking about his breakthrough of the risk-taking personality, how these people seek novelty, excitement, thrills, how, if society channels these people's creativity into sports, this can be a positive trait, or how these personality types can be destructive, such as with daredevils. I sit up to put on my clothes, wishing I could take a shower, but I don't feel safe. Our afternoon sex was quick. Me on the bottom, him on top. Thrust, thrust, thrust. I tried to let my body sink into the pleasure of sex with this prominent man who has the esteem of many when I have the esteem of so few, trying to blend his father energy with nurturing myself, but I cannot find any tenderness between our interactions. I grab my clothes from the floor. I pull up my underwear, hook my bra, pull on my jean shorts and my pink tank top. He laughs hard. I look over to him. He winks at me. We've been dating since I signed up for independent study in the educational psychology department at the UW-Madison. For a credit, I get to help him with his many projects. Later this week, we plan to drive to northern Wisconsin so he can give a lecture at a veterans hospital. I stand up. He hangs up the phone from the People magazine interview, comes around his desk and kisses me on the cheek. I need to run an errand, he says. Will you keep an eye in the house? And points to a stack of papers for me to go through. He points to one of the many piles of papers on his desk and walks out of the room with his keys in hand. Suddenly, for the first time, I'm alone in his house. I go into the bathroom, thinking I will look for some food in the kitchen, and then get to the papers. But then I see the closed door to the bedroom. We sleep on the bottom bunk in his office. I've never understood this, and my own risk-taking personality starts talking to me. He obviously doesn't want me to open this door, but why? This moment is a profoundly complicated one, and that's where I'm done for now. So she's going to bring us back in just a couple minutes. So if people want to just quickly say a word or two, go ahead, Diane.
I just want to it's not words. It's my gut and my throat are both those energies. It's like tightening my throat and tightening my gut. It's a visceral response.
I honor your expression. Thank you. I receive it.
And I feel like I want to cry.
And please do. Now or later, and let the tears fall. Melissa?
The word that just came to my mind is detachment. And I'm not sure why, maybe past experience. But this
Unmute. Welcome back, everyone. Are you okay to be stopped in mid-sentence there, Melissa, or did you want to finish real quick? Melissa's just finishing giving me a little feedback on my writing, so we'll let her do that, and then we'll close.
I think I've had a similar experience, so I could connect with you in it. And detachment was the word I came up with. And also, I need to know more. I need the rest. I'm just saying.
That's just the kind of encouragement I need. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Let us, does anybody else have anything that they're burning to say before we bow to close. And we did lose somebody just to honor that person. I'm trying to figure out who it was, if somebody can help me. It's Christine. We lost Christine. Yeah. Okay. Maybe she'll be back. So anything anyone wants to chime in before we bow to close? What a powerful day it's been, right? In our group, just such just growth happening right here with us and amongst us in the writing through the code with Barbara in the field.
I honor the synchronicity and just the power of us, of the us showing up. Thank you all for being here.
Beautiful. Thank you. Ditto. All right. So, Allie, can you help us? Do we have one more of the 6-week cycle, or where are we at?
I believe we have 2 more.
All right. So 2 more times we will meet in this group, and thank you, everyone. I hope you have just a beautiful week. Yay, Christine! We were missing you. We noticed that you were gone.
It said it may take a while, so I just waited.
Okay. All right. So let us bow to close, and a beautiful week to everybody. All right.
Thank you, Kristina. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Christine. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. That's nice.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.